We're delighted to be joined pre-match once again by the head groundsman here at the Ageas Bowl, Simon Lee, to talk us through the surface. Simon, great to see you.
Hello. Yeah.
We're on the same surface, I think, aren't we? It's had a couple of games on it so far.
Yeah, so we've moved back onto the original surface from the first two games after last Saturday's game with Sussex. Just got a little bit too dry, that pitch, in the sun last week, so we've moved back onto this one because it's a little bit more together.
And of course, sometimes TV actually demand that you play on the middle wickets, don't they?
Yeah,
none of that was there?
No, none of that at all. But I say, this one is a TV wicket, but that one is set up more for cameras. So that was one of the reasons. It's just one of those quirks, but it being a hybrid, it's actually quite easy to get it to come back. So I'm quite happy with it.
And when we look at the scores that we've seen so far, we've been in sort of 150s, 160s, 170s region. Is that what you'd have expected from these pitches that you're producing?
Yeah, I think sort of 170 is about par. I mean, you sort of look at some of the opposite. Middlesex probably underscored a little bit. Sussex definitely underscored a lot on Saturday. So I think 170 with the boundaries we have as well. The outfield has been quite quick, so I think 170 gets you in the game. And it gives you something to work with if you're bowling second, but also something to chase. There's a target there you can take. Yeah,
and we spoke about this before the Middlesex first game, about the boundary over towards the western side of the ground, which actually it appears shorter when you're actually in the ground. It appears like we're over one side, but actually you're saying that's deceptive, isn't it?
It is quite deceptive, say, because the stands are so close to the rope. Your eye sort of has nothing to fall back on, so everything feels a lot closer, whereas you look towards the tunnel, there's quite a lot of space behind the rope. We have actually pushed the boundaries back for this game. We've gone to 75 yards from the middle of the pitch straight and to the tunnel, so a little bit longer. There might be a little bit of grip in the pitch, so hopefully help both Dawson, Mason with the bowling later on.
What are the conversations that decide that you're going to put the boundaries back for this game?
To be fair, it was quite a short conversation.
No, Simon, do this.
No, I just got the information yesterday. So it was something that we were discussing anyway last week. We set it at 70 because that's how they felt they wanted to play, trying to score runs, quick boundaries and stuff like that. But I think they felt it was almost a little bit too quick. Like, we were getting quite a lot of fours where they could have been cut off. So it was just an adjustment on how the games have gone and where we just needed to be after that.
If we could just get Josh, our cameraman, to follow us, Simon, if you don't mind.
Yep.
Is there any areas in particular here that have changed dramatically over the course of a couple of games, or have been areas that you've had to sort of work on?
Well, I mean, most of the change is obviously down the side, because you obviously get the batsman running down the side of the wicket. There's a few bits in the middle where there's the odd little crack and there's a little bit open, but generally speaking, within the protected area, which is the bit which the ball's meant to land on, it's a really good clean surface. And actually, because it's a hybrid, it's not deteriorated that much. So hopefully there should be some decent pace and carry still, which we've had. I would imagine there'd be a little bit of grip because pitches tend to seem to grip here anyway in white ball cricket. But in general, just looking like a good pitch. And
it's not white concrete. There's little tufts of green, which I know you like to leave on as well. But yeah, I guess that can be deceptive as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I like to roll the grass into the surface a little bit, just to help a little bit of pace and bounce. And because it is an older pitch, it always greens up a little bit more than a fresh one. So yeah, it looks like it looks green. Maybe it's going to seam around, but unlikely that it will.
How many more games has this pitch got in it? Because there's 3 more home games after this.
This one, it's over. So we move on to a fresh pitch after the concert next week. And we might get it back for a Royal London 50 game later in the season.
Just finally, Simon, before we wrap up, this is the Simon Lee derby, because of course you came from Somerset to here.
Yes.
How do you feel about tonight then?
Ultra professional, obviously. Here to do a job. So, but I win both ways, don't I? So I'm always going to support Somerset because that's my home county, and got so much affiliation to them. But in the end of the day, it should just be a good game of cricket, hopefully, and I'll enjoy that for what it is.
Absolutely, he's got the Hampshire badge on, so that's the most important thing, and he's paid by Hampshire Cricket. Simon,
Indeed,
great to have you with us again to provide the insight ahead of tonight's match between Hampshire Hawks and Somerset.